So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a brand new... Well, that's actually not true. This is not a brand new game. Not by a long shot. It is brand new to me. It just showed up yesterday. This is a new-to-me game from Legion Wargames. It's actually from 2015, so it's actually 5 years old. So not new. Don't get any ideas. It's part of the Vive l'Empereur series, which is obviously Napoleonics. This one's called Four Battles in Spain. I'm not going to try to butcher the French, but that's that's what it's called. So this is the Peninsula campaign. It's 4 separate battles from that. This particular edition, or this particular title, is designed by Didier Rui, and it's okay. Pratt's and Editions has put out, I think, a number of these games in this series, and Legion's starting to do them now. Because I know they've got, I think it's 3 battles in Germany they've got coming up here real soon. Is a brand new title in this series. I think that's title number 9. And there's nearly 10 games in this series. I think the first one came out in 2000. This series is nearly 20 years old, so I haven't actually played any of them. It's Napoleonics. We haven't played too much of that, but if for a game to have 9 titles over 20 years, that's a lot. That means it's got some staying power. So I am very excited to dive into this. So let's take a little look, kind of what we get. There's actually a good chunk in this box, and there's 4 games on. I think there's 4 separate maps, and what interested me and why I was kind of excited for this, having never seen it before, it is the unit formations, and that's what, when I think of Napoleonics, you're thinking of line infantry, quite literally. You advance in columns, you'll have different formations of cavalry, and that's kind of what is in my mind. It's those linear blocks of troops, and you make battle lines with artillery batteries, and it's kind of charging each other. And so having counters in those formations that you'll use either to march or fight, that's something that I'm like, ooh, it's got that level in it. It's not just square counters with values on them. So that's something that really kind of drew me to this when I was on their website. I think you can play this one player. It's a 2-player game, right? One side's going to play the French, one side's going to play the British/Spanish. So let's open it up. This is one of their older games. So just know that, because it's from 5 years ago. Legion has come up significantly through the ranks in the production value. You do get a bunch of little baggies with a couple of small D6s as well. Alright, so we have the standard and advanced rules for this series, and this is pretty chunky. So this is 37, let's see, that's not much there. For the 3rd edition, those are notes. Really, we've got rules here. 36 pages of rules. There's some pictures and diagrams. There's a lot of text though, especially here on the back end. The text isn't necessarily the most small and dense. I've read rulebooks which are much, you need a magnifying glass to read them. It's decently spaced, so we'll see how this is. But yeah, it's 2015 when this came out. Now you've got like semi-gloss full color rulebooks from Legion, but that's just, understand that's what this is. Now we've got ourselves these scenarios and special rules. So we've got some historical background. Oh, and we basically just jump right in, I guess. We got some setup here. I wonder if the special rules are like in each scenario. Yeah, it looks like that, and it looks like a lot of the stuff is listed. So there's no setup diagrams. It's kind of like, oh, you guys enter from this side of the map, and you guys set up with, left of these number hexes, that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of the setup there. Look, we got a little terrain effects chart reference. I wonder if we get that elsewhere. I would presume we would. Yeah, we do. So we have an actual chart for that too. So let's get some of this paper out. Oh boy, there's a lot. Okay. So these are all single-sided play aids, and these are a nice semi-gloss card. Let's get a shiny on those if we can. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So 4 battles in Spain, how to read units, how to read texts, different layers, and bits and pieces like that. That's more of a reference. I don't know if we'll need that necessarily once we're done with the rules particularly. Fire table, melee table, formation table, and then some morale modifiers as well. Then we have our terrain effects chart, which was on the back of those special rules, so we can have 2 handy if we need it. And here, this looks like, okay, so we've got a 1, 2, okay, interesting. So there's 4 battles, but this one, Victoria has 1 setup chart each. I think this is the big one, so to speak. If you look, this has got French and English and allies there. Spanish army, French army, English and allies. So that, I don't know if these are setup charts, or if it looks like we got a turn track for sure. Or if this is kind of like chain of command and kind of who's ordering what formation. So these guys are under this guy maybe. I'm not entirely sure if these quite how those function in the game. And then we've got in here maps. Ooh, and counters. Nice. Alright. So let's set the maps aside for a second. And we will get out these counter sheets. We got 4 counter sheets. And this is pretty interesting actually. So again, this game is 2015, and Legion has changed the card stock that they use, and they punch much easier than some of the former titles did. However, this isn't bad. They do have attachment points in the corner, and they're fairly pronounced in one direction. I'll kind of show you that here. You can kind of see the nibs on those are pretty significant. So you will be clipping these, at least I will be. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm going to clip these because I like a game that looks good to look good on the table. So those are obviously some British infantry there. We got some French, it looks like, and it looks like we have some Spanish. Those are the allies. What do we have here? Well, these, I don't know who those are. I'm not entirely sure. These are definitely Imperial French. These darker blue, and there's a lot of them. So these lighter blue have a different flag. I just don't know quite what that one is. Some coalition though. But that's, I mean, it's 4 counter sheets. The reduced side of those has this big red kind of marker on it. Oh, that's a column side. Oh, nice. That makes that really easy, huh? So you're in line this side, you flip over to your column side. Interesting. But most of it is actual units. There's really very few kind of game state and organizational markers. Looks like we got some square formation type things. That's pretty neat as well. There's some of these markers, but there's actually surprising few, which means hopefully there's just lots of fighting and less bookkeeping, which is kind of what I'm in this for, I hope. The series has been around for a while, so it's clearly got something going for it. But those are very nice. That's nice artwork as far as I'm concerned. You got nice clear colors on it. For who's what, there are there's quite a few numbers on each count. That kind of reminds me a little bit of GBOH or something like OST, where there's like a lot of numbers, but hopefully that reference that we had will keep that fairly simple and streamlined, and we'll be able to get that sorted. So we're not overwhelmed. It should be fairly intuitive as to what those are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 map sheets. 2 of them go together because there's only 4 battles in here. And we'll try and figure out what's what here. Okay, and now of course I'm going to pick the one that isn't a standalone. Okay. So here's the first one. And obviously you've got different colors for different elevations. So this is a big hill, for example. When you have this vegetation and kind of broken up ground. What I really like though is if you look here at the kind of the villages and the towns, they have a really nice art style to them, and the kind of the fonts that they've used. It's just it's a nice looking map. It could be, they could have made it a bit more, bog standard or functional, but they've really gone the extra mile to make it look nice, which I appreciate. So here's a look at a couple counters. These are fairly big hexes compared to some other games. It's not quite as big as Combat Commander, but this is much bigger than the standard games that you would play with square counters. So in a line formation, they can go, and they kind of fill the whole hex that way. If you flip them over to column, again, they fit in the hex nicely, even though they're much longer counters than we would typically be used to. But as you can imagine, marching through, trying to fight lines on battles, maybe defend, this is going to be something probably quite fun and interesting. So let's see, what else do we have here? Victoria, that's the big one. We'll get there in a bit, because those ones go together, I think. This map. Ugh. Okay. So this is Ocaña. Here, big city in the middle. Well, town. City, town. Call it what you want. And you can see there's these raised plateaus, and there's kind of a valley going through the map. But it's obviously very similar art style and color. It's just that the terrain gives you a much more different tactical situation that we're going to have to play through. And then we have this one, the third map. Okay. This one's a bit more broken up with terrain. There's lots of small elevations kicking around. But again, something that's easy on the eye, but I've got those bright blue and red counters that are going to stand out on the board. That's, I don't know, you get an extra little bit of Napoleonic flavor there, where you have those big bright troops in their colored uniforms that you just don't get in the later war games. Okay, so this is the first Victoria map. So you got the big city there. And then the other one, so this one you're going to need some space for, because this is a horizontal 2-mapper, which is pretty intense. Stick this is the other half of the map. But like I said, these are going to they go edge to edge like this. And I will be honest, I have something like, I don't think it's quite, I think it's 6, I might have a 6-foot table. No, it's not that big. But these, this hangs off the edge of my table at both ends. And that's how it's supposed to be. So, you'll want a bit more space for this one. Let's see, are we gonna overlap? How are we doing that? So we overlap this much, which doesn't make much of a difference with regards to my table space. So I'm going to have to find somewhere else to play this one. Grant does have a long dining room table, so if we do this, that's going to be at his house. But it's very nice production. I like this artwork style. Let's see if I can't put it back together again. That's the miserable bit, because I've opened up all these maps. But a great looking game. A series, like I said, that's been around for a while, so I'm expecting good things from it. And I was interested in this because I wanted to give it a go, because Legion has their 3 battles in Germany coming out, and I heard from a playtester that is really good. So I'm hoping that this, that the series also pays dividends as well. So You will see some of this coming from us soon, because this is Volume 8 in the series. They're about to release Volume 9 in June of 2020, so I would expect that to be out basically anytime soon. So hopefully we can get this cracking, let you know how it is, so you can dive on those once those are still available if you so choose. So appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been 4 Battles in Spain from Legion Wargames, and I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.